Duke begins their season on Tuesday night against Texas. Big time opener for the Blue Devils. We have one more day to get some predictions in for the season. We're doing this for a bunch of our favorite teams. Riley Davis is with me to discuss his least favorite team today. That should be fun. I've got a bunch of categories. We'll go through one by one on Duke's season, starting with this. I think it's probably the most obvious answer that we've done thus far. Who will be the best player on this team?
Caleb Foster, Cam Boozer.
Do you think there's ever a moment this season where we question who the best player is?
No, not a chance.
I'm just being silly.
Do you think there is? Like, can
No,
Nongba or Kamenia get to be that good?
no, I think it would have to be
Or
Evans.
Evans, yeah.
But I also think here's an interesting dynamic. Last year, obviously Cooper Flagg was the best player, but we did hit points of the season where we were like, oh, the team needs to be run through Khan. Do you think that ever happens this year?
I don't think Evans is that good. I don't want to say that good. I don't think Evans is good enough to warrant that same conversation. Just because
Okay.
like you're not really going to run offense through Evans. He's going to be there to go ISO late shot clock. He's going to be there to knock down threes in transition to finish those plays that like Cam initiates. He's going to be more so like the dude who catches fire, but he's not really. I don't really see him as a guy who's going to play make for others, whereas Cam can do that.
I agree with you. Now I have another devious question. If Con Knipple was back for year two instead of setting first month of the NBA career records in Charlotte right now, would this team be Cam Boozers or Cons?
I think it'd be cons. It'd have to be.
You think?
Yeah, this is like, dude, don't do. Can we not talk about year two con? That would be terrible for me. You know,
I
like,
wonder how Duke fans would answer this. Honestly, Duke fans, let me if Con was back, do you think this would be Cam Boozer's team or Cons? I
they're
don't I,
both
I don't know. Part of me thinks Cam's so special.
Cam and Con both carry themselves as like all the cliche coach's dream, super humble. That would be like, well, it's his team. No, it's his team. You know, oh, I'm just trying to get like you. That would be they would embody that if he was still here. So
One of the funniest parts of this Duke 2 year run for sure has been not just how good they are, but how likable some of the players are. And I can watch you just melting trying to talk through it. Let's move on. Biggest surprise positive for Duke this season is what?
probably Homania, but I don't even know if he's a surprise at this point. I think he's just good. I need to see more from Sar offensively to pick him. That would have been my choice like 3 months ago, but it seems like he just hasn't gotten the buzz. And Homania has just I think Homania is really versatile in terms of shot making, foul drawing, and playmaking.
So I think this might be a total cop out, but a month ago I would have said Sebastian Wilkins. Not liking what I'm seeing from him as he Cade Tyson an open jumper in the corner. I don't really think there's a strong case for any of the random bench guys like Darren Harris or even Caden Boozer kind of emerging right now. I'm not loving what I'm seeing in terms of that, so I'm going to simply go with this. I think the biggest surprise for this Duke team is going to simply be how good Cam Boozer is. I think as much as Duke people know and like what Cam Boozer is, I think the world is going to gravitate around the idea that he's the clear number one in not Peterson, not DeBonsa. And that's
Mhm.
not what it is coming into the year, but that's sort of my outlook on it. On the flip side here, what is the biggest negative surprise that will rear its ugly head for Duke this year?
I think it'll be Pat Gongba. Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's not even that I think he's bad. I just wonder if he's going to be more like a 20-minute per game guy as opposed to 30 because you're going to maybe split him and Malik Brown time at the five. I I know he was good against Tennessee. I want to see it in a real game with like just play. It's more just wait and see for me because I don't think like you and Cart said this on a show where they call him Big Pat and he's not even all that big. He's like 6'9", 6'10", maybe. And I don't think I think he's a really good playmaker. I see the flashes there where you can run offense through him at the top of the key and use him to initiate and have guys like running off of basically running dribble handoffs around him and getting open looks. That part I have very few questions with. I think he realizes that potential. But I want to see it more like rebounding and defensively. Can he anchor the back end? I just don't know. Like he doesn't move especially well to me. Like for someone of his size, I would like him to be a little more of a fluid athlete, and maybe he proves me wrong there and is like this awesome rim runner. But I think when you look at Shire's team so far, they have thrived when they have that big 7-footer plus in the middle who is super agile, super mobile, can run the court and catch lobs and block a ton of shots. And I'm just a little skeptical Gongba lives up to that.
Okay. All right. I think that's fair. I think that would surprise a lot of people. It surprised me, but I can see a world where that happens. I just think my answer would be that Duke has a few more pressing issues than that. And I know Duke fans have kind of realized this in real time. I went from in the middle of the summer being like, this team's amazing. They're going to win a national title this year. It's the year after the year to like, yeah, I might not want to buy all that Duke stock that I said I wanted. And a couple things I just thought would be a little ahead of where I see them right now are the reason. Point guard is a big issue for me right now. And for my biggest negative surprise, I think I'm going to go with Caleb Foster. I think there's a world where this completely flames out for Foster and not just is iffy. It's like it bottoms out and he's unplayable. And I hope it doesn't happen. They need it not to happen. They built this roster with him in mind being good. And I'm worried it's not going to happen. I also think obligatory, we should mention Dame Sarr probably
Mhm.
because the consensus national answer would be that Sarr hasn't looked right since showing up in Durham, but we'll see. Surprised you and I both didn't go with Sarr there. Let's move on to the KenPom offensive defensive projection. KenPom has Duke 7th offensively coming into the year, 17th defensively coming into the year. What do you think they will actually be at the end of the season?
Sorry, can you say the offensive and defensive rating one more time?
7th on paper, offensively, 17th defensively.
I'll give him fifth on offense. I'll bump him up a little bit. I think Shire teams have sort of. I think he runs really good stuff. They've been right in that range. I think all 3 years he's been there. Defensively, I'm going to say they take a step back and they're like 20 to 25. I think they'll still be good. I think Cam is a good enough defender to provide enough post defense, the weak side shot blocking, all of that. And as much as Star might struggle offensively, I like that they have at least the guy with the potential to be like a true lockdown guy on the wing. Maybe Caden Boozer can heat it up at the point of attack enough to make a difference there. But yeah, I'll say like 20 to 25.
So I'm actually flipped on this from you. Shire in 4 years or 3 years, excuse me, as head coach has not had a defense worse than 16th. Offensively, his first year they were 40th.
Oh,
I'm more worried about the offense than the defense. I'm going to give them 10th defensively. I think when you get every rebound, it saves you. Offensively, I'm worried about the guard spot, and I'm going to put them a little bit lower here. Two more quick categories to get through for Duke. Standings finish. Where do they finish in the ACC?
second to Louisville.
I'm still going first, even with all the questions. March finish. Where does it end?
I want to be a hater and say Sweet 16. I know that's like, ooh, you only made the second weekend. I need Shire's elite. Oh wait, he didn't make they lost in the round of 32 his first year. I was gonna say I thought he made the Elite Eight all 3 years he's been there, but he has the last 2 years at least. I think they make the Elite Eight again though.
If he's trying to play like NCAA tournament bingo, he has round of 32, Elite Eight, Final Four. He needs Sweet 16, national title, and round of 64. This feels like a good Sweet 16 year, so I'll go 16.
Yeah, that I mean, I don't have too much pushback with that. I just think the talent's there enough to get him to be like among the last 8 standing. But
I can say this, no matter where they are in the tournament in March, the last person I'd want to see in the country in a single game elimination setting is Cameron Boozer.
yeah, that scares me.